Are you okay?
I just think of the smell coming into that house. Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our savage take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Hello, everybody,
Hey guys.
and welcome back to the SaVeg podcast.
The pre-recorded episode.
Yet another pre-recorded episode. Apparently, we're very busy people.
Oh, God damn, we need to stop leaving the country.
Apparently so.
God
This time,
damn.
Daniel will be leaving.
And the next time it'll be you again.
Oh, God. Is it me again? Oh, yeah.
God damn.
Oh, God. So Daniel will be in Australia.
I am, guys. I'm going there for a wedding.
For a wedding.
So-
For a wedding.
So as this is coming out, this episode, I will actually be in the land down under.
The land down under.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting stuff.
Meeting my future husband, 28-year-old Australian
Daniel's
surfer.
plan is to seduce a 28-year-old Aussie. So Australians, watch
Oh,
out.
God damn. I'm gonna be on the loose.
We got a crazy Canadian on the loose
God
in
damn.
Sydney.
I wonder if Australians like our accent.
I mean,
I wonder if it'll be like charming to them. They'll be like, "Ooh,
I just feel like our accent is so
basic."
basic. But some places like it.
Yeah. It's funny because like when my friend was visiting from the UK, she was like saying like we definitely have Canadian accents.
Yes.
But like ours aren't like that strong.
I consider ours to be like a more neutral,
like a general Canadian accent.
like a general sort of North America. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Versus like if you're in Calgary, some people, they really sound like they're from Berta, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Or-
hey, how you doing, hey, buddy?
Yeah.
Gonna go to the bar.
Well, I think also what I found was that Eastern Canadians have a stronger Canadian accent.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
You don't know.
Why?
Well, I think it has to do with, if I remember correctly, like Nova Scotia and some of those other maritime provinces, they have a more of a regional dialect.
Right.
And part of the reason was a lot of people from UK, although obviously people from the UK immigrated here too, but there's a lot of people from Ireland.
Yes.
When there was like a potato famine and a bunch of shit going on in Ireland, a lot of Irish people migrated to that region of Canada.
Yes.
So it's like inherently like they have like, they're like, hey, you want to go to the bar? Eh?
Yeah,
let's get in the car.
Yeah, so like they have kind of like almost like a slightly Irish twang.
Yeah.
So if you talk to someone like a Canadian and they sound slightly Irish, that's why.
I wonder, accents are so interesting. Like I wonder why. So like Australia is a perfect example of like, obviously that's where they sent a lot of the criminals and stuff like that from the UK.
Yeah.
But then also a ton of people from the UK went and immigrated there. Like I met this older couple.
Yeah.
They were lovely. They were from one of them was from Scotland. One of them was from from England. And they were much older. And they said there was a period of time when they were like 18 where there was like all these like free like trips because Australia needed workers. So they were like able to go there and they got like money and like all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So a ton of people immigrated there. And I wonder why the Australian accent,
It like shifted.
it's shifted to what it is now.
Yeah.
Like it's like interesting that it's like now it's completely different than the UK.
I don't know. But even if you watch like, for example, old like Hollywood movies from like, I don't know, 50s or something, the way that they speak is very different. So even that in such a short period of time, like it can change. I don't know why, but
God damn. I know it's accents and stuff like that. They always fascinate me.
yeah, I don't know why it is. I don't know why it is. If you guys know anything about this, let us know.
Well, and it's also kind of interesting because like obviously this is not news to anybody, but like when you think about it conceptually, because sometimes if you know like your language, like in English, I'm like, okay, you can hear different dialects, but that also obviously applies to other languages. So like
Yes.
when you're speaking in other languages, there's different dialects in those languages
Yeah.
and accents. Like it's so fucking cool.
I know, like even in Korea, because Korea is such a small country, like geographically.
Yeah.
But every region has like a specific accent, and it's very different from.
Yeah.
And other people wouldn't be able to hear probably unless you speak Korean very fluently. But yeah, in Korea, even the tiny little country, there's multiple dialects.
It's interesting because like I noticed that with Spanish as well.
Oh yeah, Spanish.
Like I can hear it. Like when I was living in Spain, the way they speak Spanish is like so different than when you hear like Central and like
Yeah.
Latin America and stuff. Like I remember watching, I think it was like Narcos, and they were like speaking in Spanish in Colombia.
Right.
But the way they were speaking and their pronunciation, like I could still catch a lot of it.
Right.
But it was like different from where I was like learning.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
Interesting. Very interesting, guys.
God damn.
So I wonder what we're going to sound like in 100 years.
Well, yeah, that is a...
If we're still here.
Yeah. Do you think that over time accents are going to become less regionalized or more regionalized?
I don't know.
I think
maybe less.
I think it's going to be less because I think part of the reason, like the UK is a perfect example, why there's such distinct accents is because you're born in an area, you grow up in an area, you work in that area.
Yes.
And you stay in that area.
Yeah.
Whereas now, more and more people are very mobile. And,
yes.
And not only that, like you're more mobile, but also you're exposed to media constantly.
Yes.
From all across the world.
Yes.
So I feel like we inherently pick up things.
For sure.
So I think over time there's going to be like more, like for example, our accent is going to become more like in North America. There'll be more of a generalized North American accent and less of like the Nova Scotia and like
right.
the, you know, like those kind of accents.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
But we'll see. Time will tell.
Interesting
right?
as hell.
I love an accent.
God damn. I love an accent.
God damn.
I think it's funny when people in North America think that they don't have an accent.
I know. But that's such a like
it's such a like
narcissistic view.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, I don't have an accent. What are you talking about? It's like,
Are you okay?
Yeah. Everybody has a fucking accent.
Everyone has an accent. It's just people have different accents than you have.
Exactly.
And you have an accent. Everyone has an accent.
Exactly. Every single person on the planet has an accent.
Exactly.
To somebody.
Yes. So guys, as you know, when we do the pre-recordations, we do one thing and one thing only.
Am I the fucking asshole?
Am I the fucking asshole? So before we jump in, make sure you sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/TheSaVeg for bonus episodes every single month for exclusive content. Yes. And ad-free content.
Yes.
And early access to content. So the link is always in the show notes and
also,
the description.
Also, guys, well, there's no more spots left, unfortunately. But
for Costa Rica.
Rose and I are going to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
So that's
and it's
happening in January.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I know.
So that's going to happen in January. But I will let you know if we have more trips in the future.
Yes.
Which will be very fun.
Exciting.
Daniel probably not going to come with me because he'd be sick of me.
True. No, no. I love going on the trips. I just don't have that much. The thing that sucks, like with my job, is like I have limited amount of like holiday days.
Yeah.
And like the trips have been like Thailand and Bali were incredible, but like even just booking those, that was like 3 weeks of my holidays.
Damn,
and
guys,
I get like a month.
We got to make this our full-time job so Daniel can come to all the trips.
Yes.
God damn.
God damn.
All right. So if you guys don't know the Am I the Asshole episodes, it's essentially us reacting to the subreddit Am I the Asshole?
Yes.
Where people submit their stories and we tell them if they were an asshole or not. All right. Shall we pick? Do you want to pick one first?
No, you go first, Rose. You already got it ready, and I feel like you're already eyeing something.
I don't know. God damn. Let's see.
You're gonna
here.
share with our listeners.
Let's see. All right. I mean, I'm just gonna pick this one. It's very popular, apparently. Am I the asshole? You got some coffee on your nipples?
I did. Sorry, guys.
Am I the asshole for not being happy that my little sister is getting married? I, 28 female, am not happy for my little sister, 19 female, getting married. Not the asshole. 19? Are you joking?
19
Too young.
is wild.
We don't have any family left other than a distant uncle who lives across the country and couldn't care less about us. I've tried to be the best role model I could be for her since we lost our only parent so young, but I feel like I failed. My little sister met this cook at the restaurant she works at, and I don't care what he does for a living. It has nothing to do with that, but he's 39. He is 39 years old and just put a ring on my 19-year-old little sister's finger. I met him once before, and I didn't realize he was that old, to be honest. He looks good for his age. But I also didn't think they would end up together, so I didn't think to press on it. She's constantly dating all these men, probably to make up for her severe daddy issues that I also have, but we don't need to get into that. I feel terrible because my sister is so excited to tell me she's engaged, and I flipped out on her. I told her how disgusting it is that that he is an old man, and that she wouldn't be able to live her life the way she wants to with a guy like that. She left my house crying and won't answer me. It's been 2 weeks. Am I the asshole? That's tough.
It is a tough one. What are your thoughts? Initial thoughts, Rose?
Well,
like how long have they been dating? Like that's
the thing. Like I totally understand the concern.
Yeah.
For sure. Like that is a concern. I don't think, and the question is, am I the asshole for not being happy for my sister? So I would say no.
Yeah.
Maybe the lash out was a little bit too much,
Yeah.
although understandable.
Yeah.
And probably most people would have reacted in that same way.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I don't think
I think anyone would. Like if I all of a sudden was like, hey Rose, I really want you to meet my boyfriend. Actually, we're engaged. Here he is, and he's 19 years old, and I'm not even 39 yet, guys. You would probably be like, Daniel, he's a child.
Yeah, he's a child.
Like, what are you? What?
Yeah, what are you doing with a child?
Yeah. So again, I don't want to like discredit it because I know sometimes there can be really successful relationships with these huge age gaps.
Yeah.
It happens. Like it does happen, and there's legitimate relationships, but it does always bring a little bit into question when you're like, you know, especially with someone so young, like 19 years old, and you have somebody that's like basically 40.
Yes.
Like that could be literally your parent.
So I think she's right. I think there's some unresolved childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. And yeah.
That's tough.
So not the asshole?
How long have they been together? That's another
I know,
question.
there's a lot of questions.
Like, you know, and also there's just
how long have they been dating? She's only 19.
Yeah, has he been married before? Like,
yeah, does he have children?
Yeah.
Like what's going on?
Yeah. So many questions.
Like I think it's very fair that she has concerns.
Yeah.
And I think it's also like it's sad because they don't really have family. So it seems like she just wants a family ASAP.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to fix the problem, right? Like it has to be a healthy situation. Okay.
What's the comments? What are people saying?
Oh, okay. So this is kind of like what I essentially said. You're the asshole for what you said to her. So I think what she kind of lashed out.
Right.
Probably not the best way to handle, but again, understandable.
Yeah.
Right. And then it said, not the asshole for your concern. And then this person wrote, apologize to her, tell her you are way out of line and that you won't do it again and don't do it again. Explain to her that you are having a hard time watching her grow up and be part of that part of your protector brain freaked out and blah, blah, blah. Tell her you love her more than anything. You want what's the best for her. Tell her that you're proud of her and know she's smart and makes good decisions. Say this even if you don't believe her. Or if you don't believe that she makes good decisions.
Yeah.
Tell her that you love her unconditionally, blah, blah, blah. Ask her if you can support her right now and how you can make it up to her. Listen to what she says. Yeah. So essentially, and then it says, yeah, do these things. If the guy is a creep trying to isolate her, hopefully he's not, you being accepting and loving will make it harder for him to convince her to push you away.
Right.
You need to be there for her, even if it kills you inside. She's lucky to have you. You clearly love her loads. Yeah. So, I mean, fair. Oh God.
Damn, guys. And that's actually a really good point because people, not saying that this guy is going to do this to her, but like guys that are like, you know, trying to isolate their wives from family and friends and everything else, like that's kind of the way, like part of the way, you know, like, you know, with that kind of situation for sisters like being so harsh on their relationship.
Yeah.
He's like the loving guy. He's like, don't listen to her, babe.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I love you. And then like pulls her away. And then once they are isolated and have no friends and family, that's when the abuse
she can't
can start.
leave. She can't leave. And again, not saying that's necessarily the case here, but oh God, the age gap is like, that's a big deal. 19 and 39, not even 29.
It's a big one.
There's something, I don't know. That's weird. Let's see. It's not the age difference that grosses me out. It is how long the sister has been an adult. The fiance has been an adult just as long as she has been alive. That's so true.
Yep.
If she was 29, I'd care less about the age gap. But 19 is a great, big, fat, glaring red flag.
Yeah. I think also just the fact that regardless the guy's 39, pretend the guy was 21 or 22, the fact that she's getting married so young.
That's, you know,
so
there's
like,
a few concerns.
Yeah, that's more like, you know, oh God, you're 19 years old. Like, you don't even know what you want.
Yeah, what's the rush?
Exactly. There shouldn't be a rush. Like,
is it because he's old?
Who knows? I mean, he's the one that put a ring on it, so I'm guessing
God
so.
Damn.
Maybe he's like, she's going to leave my ass if I don't put a ring on it.
Oh, God. 19? I mean, hopefully he's not going to be abusive.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she'll just learn her lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe this is a lesson that just needs to be learned.
And she'll be 25 and like have her first divorce. And
oh,
then,
God.
You know.
Let's see. Controversial post from today. Let's see.
Do I get to pick this one?
Yes.
Rose,
I'm just trying to like load it.
I'm just kidding. God,
I'm just loading it,
God
Daniel.
damn. Rose be loading.
Why is it taking forever?
This one's a good one.
Okay.
This is a WIBTA. Would I be the asshole?
Oh, would I be the asshole?
Would I be the asshole if I wrote a book about my friend's life?
Okay, keep going.
Let me just get comfy here. I'm male 26, an author, and I love to write books based on people's lives. Sometimes it's based on people I briefly meet, so it's really more fictional than reality, but sometimes it's on close ones. I obviously change names and everything so nobody can identify them. I have a friend, female 24, who has had a very inspirational life. She struggled a lot younger and still came out on top, and I think she's amazing, and I want to write a book about her. I asked her permission, as I always do, and even though I'd hoped she'd say yes, she refused and said that her life is not something she wants to be put in a book, which is fair, I guess. I don't want to push it, but I think she's making a great mistake by not agreeing. Having your story told, especially by someone who loves and respects you, is an honor and gratifying. I think if maybe I write something and show it to her, she might agree to the book. I don't know if if that would be an asshole move to do it though, and I'm asking for your thoughts and advice. Thank you.
Yes, you would be the asshole. Like, you sound very it's her like, you asked, why ask her permission if you're not going to listen to the answer?
Exactly. And he's just like, well, no, she's not thinking about this clearly. I just need to.
It's her life.
I should just do a draft and then have her read it. I actually, you're right. That would infuriate me. Like if I was like to specifically to someone, I was like, no, I don't really want a book about my life. Then like a month later, they come back and be like, I've done a first draft just because I want you to look at it and have a second thought. Yeah. I'd be like, you worked this long on this book.
Yeah, and then
about
now
my
you
fucking
feel
life.
Yeah, and then now you feel obligated because they already wrote it.
Exactly.
And then you feel bad because you're like, oh, you worked on this. So then it's almost like, it's manipulative.
But also, I like how he's like, I asked her permission. She refused, which is fair, I guess. But then he's not saying it's fair because he's like,
it's like, it would be a mistake.
I don't want to push it. He doesn't want to push it, but yet he wants to do a draft of her, first draft.
You are pushing it.
Exactly. Don't push it. Leave her the fuck alone. And also, I'm sorry, like maybe she doesn't want you making money off of her life.
Yes,
do you know
that's
what I mean?
another thing.
Like if someone comes up to me and they're like successful author and they're like, I want to write about your life. I'll be like, okay, well, what's my cut?
Yeah, exactly. Is she going to get a cut? That's another question. Like, is she going to get some money out of it too? Or are you just going to profit? And like, that's just weird.
It's weird.
It's very weird. Like, what the hell? Write about someone else.
Exactly.
And what are people saying?
Yeah, so people is like, you're the asshole. Also, low-key narcissistic for thinking that having someone write about you after you've explicitly asked them not to is such an honor and gratifying. It's neither of those things, just disrespectful.
Yeah. Like, he sounds a bit narcissistic.
Exactly.
Like, I'm going to write such a great story about your life.
Yeah. You're the asshole. I want to make money off of a book about my friend's life. I asked permission. She said no. I'm going to do it anyway in hopes that seeing a sample portion written out will bully pressure her into giving me permission to publish the book and make money off of it, none of which, apparently, will be going to said friend. How does it sound with all the inspirational BS stripped away?
That comment wins.
Oh, so good. She's 24. She's not quote unquote come out in top yet. She's young and has a lot in front of her and seems to have a greater awareness of it than OP, original poster. Yeah. Having your story told, especially by someone who loves and respects you, is such an honor and gratifying. Gratifying for whom?
Yeah.
What self-important, self-promoting nonsense? Write it or don't write it. But if you're fictionalizing it so she can't be recognizable in it, don't talk about how honored she would feel to be your inspiration. You're the asshole.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It is weird. What the actual fuck? Yes, you're the asshole. It's not an honor to have people disrespect your wishes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he could like fictionalize it.
God, people are actually crazy though. If you think about it, it's like this guy was like, and this happens in life, like not just with books and stuff. You might like say that you want to do something, or no, like somebody wants to do something, and then somebody says no, and they're like, oh yeah, no, fair enough. They said no, they don't want to do it. But actually, I think they're making a mistake. So I'm going to do all of this other stuff to try to get them to say yes.
Yeah.
But it's like, why don't you just respect that person's opinion?
Yeah.
Like, fuck. People are like so,
You really have no other material? Like, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
And we also don't even know what her life actually is, right?
Exactly.
Maybe it's traumatic. Maybe there's you know, obviously she's overcome stuff. That's why he wants to write a book or something.
I love this comment too.
Mm-hmm.
You're the asshole. No doesn't mean maybe a yes if you write something behind my back and show it to me.
God, what is wrong with people?
I know. Like, I would actually be really pissed. I think it wouldn't pressure me. It would just make me lose it at that person.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I already told you no. Like, you've just wasted all of your own time and mine.
Yeah.
Don't write about me. And if you do write about me, I will sue you.
Yeah.
Like, just drop it.
Just drop it, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh,
write about your own life if you want to write about something. Like, why do you have to write about mine?
Because apparently her life is a lot more interesting.
Yeah. Says a lot about him. Just kidding.
Let's see. Interesting. We got some marital problems, as we love. We love those. You okay?
I got a weird stitch.
Do you have a wet J?
No, it's a stitch.
It's a stitch. We're not even running.
I know. It's
Okay.
a weird cramp.
Am I the asshole for telling my wife that she will have to wait to go back to work even with our agreement?
Well, initially I want to say yes, but let's hear it.
That's my gut. Yeah. When my wife and I decided to get pregnant, we agreed that she would stay with our son for the first 2 years, and I would spend another 2 years until he started going to school. My son, due to birth problems, was born with health complications, and because of this, there is a higher cost with doctors, exams, medicines, and even with the health plan, we still have a lot of expenses. When my wife took maternity leave, we earned the same salary, and the salary would be enough to have a comfortable life with a child, but with our son's healthcare costs, it would be completely unfeasible. Okay. We currently have good financial conditions because I got promotions that increased, and it is possible to have a comfortable life and provide all the healthcare for our son. Our son is a year and a half, and we sat down to talk about these plans. She said she talked to the company and they were willing to hire her again under the same conditions, and that we would have to plan financially for me to stay at home. I was very honest and paraphrasing. I said, look, I know that our plans were these in the beginning, but we were only able to have this comfortable life because of my salary. If we depend only on yours, it will totally compromise our income and not give us the same quality of health for our son. I'm sorry, but you being the sole provider in the house is not possible, and I'm not going to do this with our son. Daycare is not an option for us because my wife is completely against it due to the bad reputation of these places in my country, and it has always been her wish to only enroll in school at the age of 4. She argued, saying that it was our agreement and that she supported me being at home, and now it's my turn to give her that chance. I understand, and if it were the situation we expected, I would agree and do it, but that's not our reality, and I'm not going to do that with our son, and you'll have to wait a little longer, unfortunately. She was upset, saying that I went back on our initial agreement and wasn't committing to something. My work is not possible from home. I just don't see how making this change would compromise our family financially. I admit that maybe it was a failure in our communication, but on the day-to-day rush, am I the asshole? And it says, make it very clear that she doesn't want our child to have a nanny or stay in a childcare all day. She wants someone to stay with him until he's 4 years old. For this idea, I can't stop working for her to come back. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. He can't stop working for her to go back to work. That's what I think that means.
Right. Thoughts? Ooh, it's a little complicated, this one.
This is a tough one.
This one's a little tough.
This one is not as straightforward because you have a multitude of factors.
Right.
I am kind of siding with the guy a little bit here.
Yeah.
In a sense that I feel like, yes, the situation's changed, right? Obviously, they've had a son that has lots of health issues, everything like that. And if, her going back to work at the same salary is substantially less than what he's earning, that it would put them in a financial, not a great situation.
Right.
But on the flip side, what I would encourage or what I would think about in this situation is I'd say, look, we've been living on my salary comfortably. We've been able to pay all the medical bills and everything. If you're adamant that you want to go back to work, right now, because it's been 2 years and it was part of our agreement for me to come home. But actually, if I come home on your salary, we won't be able to afford the medical and everything else. And we'll put ourselves into a shitty situation. Yeah. Why don't we compromise? I'm going to stay at work.
Yes.
You go back to work, but we're going to have to either get a nanny.
Yes.
Because they'll be able to afford it because they were living on his salary before, right? So from her salary, they just have to get a nanny or daycare, right?
Yes.
Like, unfortunately, I'm sorry, but that's the only way that this is going to work because, like, again, finances, like, although they're annoying, they're so important. And, like, if you're going to put your family into financial risk, like, it just is not a good situation. It sucks that that's the situation they're in, but I think the compromise would be like she needs to bend a little bit on the daycare and childcare,
Right.
because then she could go back to work and this wouldn't be a
Yes.
conversation. He can't quit his job because of the medical bills. It sounds
Right.
like, you know, like, and
Yeah.
they wouldn't be able to live fully on her income without maybe
Right.
going into debt or something.
Yeah. Well, I would like to see a breakdown of this income situation.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if he actually sat down and did the calculations and was
Yeah.
like, okay, each month we're spending this much. This is how much we need to be comfortable.
Yeah.
If you go back and I come home,
Yeah.
we're stretched this far, right? Like, I
Yeah.
want to know the numbers.
I think that's the way that he could present it to her. Because again, I don't think anyone's really the asshole in this situation. I think it's a little bit of both. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit of both. It sounds like they both need to compromise a little bit, but you're right. I think if he presented to her and was like, look, here's my salary.
Yes.
Here's our medical expense with our son, which I want to continue paying for because
Yeah.
I love him and this is important.
And he needs the
and he needs
attention.
this.
Yeah.
This is what you were making before.
Yeah.
And this is the deficit that we'll have month over month
Yeah.
if I quit my job and you're working yours.
Right.
Or this is how tight it's going to be for us.
Yeah.
Now, again, I don't want to live in that situation. I want to still be saving and doing whatever else.
Yeah.
Here's how much daycare and nanny is.
Yeah.
That's how much of your income would go to that.
Exactly.
Like, try to make it work, because her just being like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
He's not going to daycare. No nanny.
Yeah,
You
she
have to
seems-
quit your job.
yeah.
Like, it's like, that's the agreement we had. It's like, yeah, that's the agreement you had 2 years ago. But you have to remember, things change.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't have some kind of like agreement like this in place 2 years ago when the economy could change, things could happen. You know, what would have happened if maybe she couldn't have got her job back?
Yeah.
Then, you know, was he supposed to quit his job and she has to just find something?
Yeah.
Like, there's factors that are going to impact
Right.
that decision, right?
Right.
Like, if her company had said, oh, sorry, we can't take you back, well, then she would have happily stayed for another 2 years working, you know, or staying at home. So I think you can't be so rigid with that type of agreement.
Yeah, I do think, I think the compromise would be that they both go back to work and then they figure out a daycare or a nanny situation.
Or have a parent maybe, or
have
somebody.
something, or maybe
Yeah.
she goes back part-time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's things you could do. But I do think that this is another reason why, like, women just usually fall behind in the workforce.
Of course.
Because, like, I didn't even, like, it's like, initially maybe you agree that, like, you'll work, you know, full-time, or your husband will work full time.
Yeah.
You take care of the baby. But then in that 1 or 2 years, your husband's income's going to go up.
And he gets a
because
promotion.
he's working.
Yeah.
While you don't have a chance to get a promotion
Yeah.
because you're staying home. And then it comes to the decision, oh, should we swap? And all of a sudden he's making 10K more than you a month or whatever. So then you're just ended up staying home.
Yeah.
So then your professional career is basically done.
Yeah.
So I think this might probably happen often, and maybe that's where she's coming from.
Yeah. I think in this situation, though, I think we
Yeah.
have to understand the numbers.
No,
right? Like,
exactly.
That's where it would be helpful, because if there wasn't a huge difference between their salary,
Yeah.
but it was like the difference of like he's making 10K more a year.
Yeah,
or
then
something
I would
like
say,
that. Then I'll be like, quit your job,
whatever.
buddy.
Exactly.
She can go back to
Because
work.
then maybe she'll probably get a promotion as well.
Exactly. So if she has that opportunity, again, we don't even know what industry or anything she works
Exactly.
in. Right?
We
So-
don't know any of this shit.
So you're right. Maybe if she goes back, she works really hard, she could be up for a promotion in a year. So like, again, this is a really tough one.
Yeah.
But I do think it happens more often than not where the women stay at home with these children.
Yeah.
Even now, like nowadays, that's normally what happens, and the men continue to work.
Yeah. Nowadays still.
Yeah.
Because like usually, I mean, just by nature, right? Because like
Yeah.
women usually breastfeed and
Yeah.
whatever. And also just still societal expectations. Like women tend to, you know, take, and in a lot of countries, they don't even allow paternity leave.
Yeah.
So usually women will get paternity leave. So like just naturally speaking, women end up staying at home more.
Yeah.
And then we just naturally fall behind in the workforce when you have a baby.
You're playing catch up at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know what does that mean not the asshole? Anyway, what NAH. The situation is different than what you imagined. That's not anybody's fault. You two have to deal with it now. My advice would be to make 2 spreadsheets. Agreed.
Yeah.
One of your finances currently and one simulation of the wife's income as household income. Can you survive as a family on that money? What would you have to give up in that case? I very much understand your wife being sad and angry if she imagined for the past years to work again. Now, being a stay-at-home parent is hard, but I also understand that you don't want to downsize your lifestyle if it's about food or appointment or, you know, like,
Yeah.
exactly. So exactly what we said.
If it's not a big difference, like honestly, if it's not a huge difference, I would say he needs to suck it up and stay at home while she gets back in the workforce. If it's a substantial amount of money,
Yeah.
I don't know. But then again, if you look at your expenses and if you're okay living off of her salary, like let's say right now they're living a more lavish lifestyle,
Yeah.
because they have all this disposable extra income and everything else. But if the wife conceivably with her income, this is why you need the spreadsheets and we need to see
Yeah,
this.
we need to see the numbers.
If her income can pay the mortgage, the bills, the medical bills, the food and everything and still have money extra for savings and stuff, then there's no reason why she can't work. Maybe you guys don't go out for dinner as much.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you have to be a stay-at-home dad that cooks a bit more. You know?
Exactly.
Like if that's the trade-off, then I think he should stick to his promise.
Right. Oh God. Let's see what else people said. Let's see. Oh, there's so many comments.
God damn, what people say,
People
Rose.
got opinions. Let's see. What are people saying? Oh my God. People are saying a lot. I don't know what NAH is.
Neither assholes. I don't know.
Your side of this is completely understandable, but I think you also need to remember that you were both on the same salary before your son. It is only now that you've had those extra 2 years to focus on your career that there's so much difference financially. The longer your wife has to stay home, the more this disparity will be, and the harder it will be for her to restart her career and be able to make the same career advances that you have. Very good point.
Yeah.
Have you considered that your wife your wife were to go back to work for those 2 years, she may also be able to achieve the promotions you achieved and once again match your salary? If so, is there somehow a way to make this work financially between now and then that will give her this chance? It really isn't fair for you to expect her to forego her career just because you've had the chance to advance yours further while she's staying at home with your son, especially when you've had this agreement in place. Totally agree.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. You have to understand that from her position, especially as a woman, right? Like we're always feeling like we're behind on the male counterparts.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, like you were in the same position before.
Yeah.
So what makes you think that potentially she could get to that position in the future?
Yeah.
Again, but it depends on how much of a stretch we're talking here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But typically when you get promoted and stuff, like you might get a bit of a bump, but it's not going to be like, oh, you were on 50K, now you're on 150K. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine
what,
it.
like I need to know the numbers.
I know, I need the numbers. Like this one is like, it's undetermined who the asshole is here until we see the spreadsheet of numbers.
Yeah. Exactly. I got promotions that increased and it is possible to have a comfortable life. So it's like, okay, give me the numbers.
Exactly. What kind of promotion? You got to like, what is it?
That is kind of a tough situation. I get it. But
tough as that. Yeah.
Oh God. Also, like she's probably like kind of depressed just staying at home all day.
I know. Oh,
found a good one.
This one is, you might have seen this one already, but
I don't think
it'd
so.
Be controversial.
Okay, we love a controversial one.
Am I the asshole for telling my former friend
to
stop blaming everything on quote unquote fatphobia?
Oh, Daniel, you're
I'm going up
for the controversial one.
I really am. I used quotes in the title because I did the air quotes thing with my finger. So she did fatphobia.
Right.
I, female 31, met my former friend, female 32, roughly 2 years ago over at the weight loss subreddit. We were OD. I don't know what that means. OD similar.
God, these like internet acronyms.
Oh God, I'm so behind on that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We were OD similar.
OD. Okay, whatever.
Anyway, we were similar heights and weights and had the same end goal in mind. So we decided to become each other's accountability buddies.
So they wanted to lose weight.
Yes, because they're on a weight loss subreddit.
Yeah.
So we quickly bonded over the weight loss journey and other similar interests, and we actually became quite close. However, as my weight loss journey proved productive, I'm currently down 150 pounds and have hit my goal weight, and she has not.
Damn, 150 pounds.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's more than you.
Yeah.
That's like if I lost you. Yeah. God damn. As we progressed, and she remained at her weight, and at some points...
She remained at her weight.
Yeah, she remained at her weight, and at some points gained... gained. She grew more and more... Oh, and at some points gained, and as she did, she grew more and more passive-aggressive. At one point, I stopped sharing my progress and focused on trying to get her to not lose hope and not give up. We are nowhere near as close as we used to be, partly due to her being incredibly passive-aggressive, partly due to a variety of snide remarks, and partly because of her lack of accountability really irking me. She only reaches out to complain, didn't get promoted, Boss is fatphobic. Didn't get a second date. Guy is fatphobic. Someone disagreed with her. They're fatphobic. When she went on to accuse me of being fatphobic because I lost weight and therefore hate fat people, I lost my temper and told her that the world isn't out to get her, and that while this world definitely focuses on appearances too much, she can't go around throwing accusations around every time she doesn't get her way. I told her that if her weight was making her miserable, she should step up and do something about it. I pointed out that plenty of overweight people manage to accomplish their goals without losing weight, and that she needed to own up to her own shortcomings, maybe even work on them. I also told her I wasn't interested in further contact if all she was going to do was be passive-aggressive and salty. She called me fatphobic again, hung up, and we haven't spoken since.
God damn.
Am I the asshole?
This reminds me of how I jokingly always say everything is racist.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I don't think she's frustrated, right? As a friend.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is, how did we go from you're both accountability partners,
Yeah.
one of you losing 150 pounds
And the other one not.
and other one not losing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they were that similar size.
But I think that this is the issue whenever you're doing these like weight loss challenges and stuff.
Sure.
Is like some people just and I've been there, like not specifically working with a friend to try to lose weight, but like there's gonna be some people that are really dedicated
Sure.
and will actually put in the work. And then there are other people that just
won't.
don't.
Right.
That just don't, you know? And then I think what's happening is it's like twofold. It's like one, she's getting frustrated, but then the larger friend, she is she knows that she's not doing what she needs to do.
Yes.
And she's feeling shitty about it herself. So that's why
Yes.
she's lashing out.
Yes.
Because people, I always say this, like for the most part, people that are generally pretty happy and like feeling content and, you know, feeling like this girl that lost 150 pounds is probably feeling so empowered and like, holy fuck, I've reached my goal. I'm so happy about it. She's not going to be shitting on people.
Yeah.
Because she's in a good headspace. She's happy. Whereas if you're like struggling, you're not sticking to the things, you keep your weight's staying the same, you're going to get frustrated and lash out.
Yeah.
Especially if like you and me are both on a weight loss journey together.
Yeah.
You lost it, got down to your goal weight, and I'm still the same.
Yeah.
I'm going to resent you a little bit.
Right.
Like,
right.
I mean, I probably shouldn't, but like I think it's like human nature is like,
Right.
fuck you. Like but really deep down, you know it's your own fault.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of taking the kind of steps that you would either take the steps if you want to lose the weight, you know, like I know it's obviously hard to lose weight. It's not easy, but you can either take the steps and try, because if you try, you would lose at least a little bit of weight.
Of course.
Right? Like it's not like
It's not
hard.
rocket science here. The
Yes.
thing is, at the end of the day, maybe you might not achieve a certain goal weight of
Yes.
yours. That might be harder, right? But at the end of the day, if you are severely overweight,
Yes.
if you start taking the time to go on long walks or do something,
Yes.
maybe watch what you're eating a little bit more,
Yes.
naturally you're going to lose a bit of weight.
Yes.
It's
That's
inevitable.
just, it's inevitable. So, and I don't think she's like an asshole for saying what she did, because it sounds like it's been building up.
Yeah.
And when your friend starts, you know, just acting just so kind of negative and blaming everyone and just being really salty, it's just not a good look. So
No.
I think it's fine that she set her boundaries and was like, listen, like, I'm sick of you saying stuff like this.
And it sounded like she was trying to be a supportive friend because she stopped posting her progress.
Right. Like
And she
she's
was
not
like-
trying to rub it in her
Exactly.
face.
She's like, obviously my friend's struggling with this. I like her. I like her as
Yeah.
a person. So I'm going to stop doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm posting mine because I don't want to rub it in her face. And I'm going to be supportive of her to try to help her like do it. And instead she's being like, oh, I didn't get promoted at work because my boss is fatphobic. And I want to date with this guy and he doesn't want to date me anymore
Yeah.
because he's fatphobic. Like you start
Yeah.
to get like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
And if you keep telling yourself these things, it's like, you know, that's going to be kind of, because you're focusing on the fact that everything's a problem because she's fat.
Yeah.
That's what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, there's some truth to it, of course, because the world is, you know, generally not very nice to fat people.
this is very true.
But, you know, there's like, you know, yeah, like the original person said, like, there's plenty of people that have completely fine and happy lives
Yeah,
despite their size.
exactly.
So sounds like she's just really bitter.
God damn, you're
She
right.
sounds awful.
Not the asshole. She is a big one. And while not
No
great.
pun intended.
No. And while she probably drives everyone around her crazy, she is the biggest asshole to herself. She actively keeps herself from achieving her goals by blaming everything on
Yes.
one external factor, i.e. fatphobia. If she were going around and blaming everything going wrong on Jews, lizards, conspiracies, Bill Gates, any other common scapegoat, we'd call her delusional beyond measure. No one is preventing her from losing weight or excelling in her job. And she wanted to lose weight in the first place, but stalled her progress and got resentful at yours. Worst combination ever.
Yeah.
As they say, some people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I think this friendship has run its course, and it's not healthy to keep someone around you that is consistently lashes out and is passive aggressive.
Yeah. And a person like this will keep trying to like push you down with them, you know? Like they're just trying to pull you down.
Yeah.
So you don't want necessarily that kind of person.
Yeah. Not the asshole. She tried to lose the weight. She's fatphobic.
Well, that's another thing, because it's like usually when people, I mean, obviously there's different types of people that talk about fatphobia, but usually when people are like talking about fatphobia, they're saying, you know, that generally they're like, you know, they don't want to lose weight.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, oh, like it's fine to be fat.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So someone commented, let's see, I want to see another one of these comments. Well, these are like chains.
I know there's so many like comments on their comments.
Not the asshole. Of course people experience fatphobia, but it sounds like she uses it as a crutch to push away rejection. It's a shame to lose a friend. Unfortunately, not many people have the strength to come around when called out, but I hope she does.
Yeah. God damn.
And apparently the person that lost 150 pounds, she was 5'3".
Holy shit.
She said she was massive, and now I'm very unhappy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because someone was like, 150 pounds, that's a whole person. She's like, yeah, and I'm 5'3", so.
5'3". That's basically, I mean, it's a little bit taller than me.
A couple inches, right?
No, I'm 5'2", but a little bit more than 5'2". So imagine an extra 150 pounds on me.
Yeah.
Woo.
5'2 and a half, right, Rose?
5'2.5".
That half inch matters.
It always matters, Daniel.
God, that'd be nasty as
God
hell.
damn. Let's see. All right, let's get a good one. More marriage problems. Am I the asshole for calling my wife lazy? I, 36 male, am in the army and often go long periods of time without seeing my wife, 35 female. I love her, and I'm always excited to see her, although some of her hygiene habits are concerning to me. Whenever I come home on leave, I'm often surprised by the mess our house is in. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a clean freak, and I wouldn't expect a lived-in house to be perfect. I feel like I can separate the standards expected in the army to a normal setting, and I don't expect my wife to have the place spotless, but our house verges on what I'd call squalid. I drive home to our front lawn piled with black bags, and there's plates of old food on random shelves and cabinets. Our wall beside the rubbish bin is stained brown, where she throws tea bags in it from a distance, and they hit the wall first, and the place never smells very good. I've asked before if she could tidy those bits up, not only because how I feel, but dirty surroundings like that really impact mental well-being, absolutely. And it could degrade her health. Every time I say something, she huffs like I'm her dad asking her to tidy her bedroom, and she says she'll do it later. Ugh! I end up spending most of my leave sorting things out, only to come back to the same mess next time. I wondered if her mental health might be causing her to neglect things, and I spoke to her a bit, but she wouldn't listen. I asked her mom and dad, and they made it clear that she's always been untidy.
Yeah, but that's different than just being untidy.
Yeah,
Sorry, continue.
No, you're right. And had to pay damages to previous landlords on old flats. Untidy is an understatement.
Yeah.
Frankly, she's been that way all through our relationship, but never quite as intensely and seemingly less so when I'm around. So like when he's been around, she's been a little bit better. But then when he's gone, she's like, fuck it.
And then he comes back and he's like, holy shit.
It's one thing that we don't have children to think about, but it's not nice. It's not a nice environment for anyone. And I think the final straw was on my last leave when I started finding used sanitary products on the bathroom floor rather than the bin.
Okay, what is wrong with her?
Okay, hold on. This is a problem. I sat my wife down and I implored her to tidy the place more often because it's her home too. She deserves a nice place to live, and besides all that, it's basic responsibility. She started off defensive, but quickly became angry and accused me of bossing her around and expecting her to clean a large home all by herself every day when she has work to do. I told her that I understand a place can get messy and she has a life and career to get on with, but her habits and attitude are lazy. She screamed at me to shut up and went upstairs. We had a strained rest of my leave, and I think she was more than happy to see me go. I don't know what to do. I feel the request is reasonable enough, but was I wrong to approach it as I did and call her lazy? Am I the asshole?
Not the asshole. That is disgusting.
I know. Okay, maybe the lazy comment could have been handled a bit better.
Yeah, maybe not the lazy comment.
But again, people get riled up and they'll say things.
Yeah.
It does sound like she might be depressed. Or, okay, first of all, lots of questions. This is why you want to live together before you move in. Did you live together?
Well, he said she's always been like this.
But like
she's gotten
never
worse.
to this extent.
Yeah, she's gotten worse since he's been on leave.
So this is a problem.
A huge problem. I'm sorry, but like I'm just like rereading parts of this because I was like, what the actual fuck?
It's one thing if you like can't vacuum every week, let's say, right? She's busy, whatever.
Yeah. Because like
it's another thing to throw tampons
on the bathroom floor. Like
there's a bin.
That's just fucking lazy.
I'm sorry. That's not even lazy. There's a bin. I don't understand.
Like I'm the first person that I can put up my hand. Like, am I the most clean person? No, because like I definitely let things like vacuuming and all this kind of stuff.
This is an extreme level.
Exactly, but I'm like, one of the most basic things that you can do, for example, I have a dishwasher. So generally I load up my dishes into the dishwasher and I like put all my stuff in the bin, like in the garbage bin.
Yeah.
Those are like just bare minimum. And I give the counters a wipe generally. Like maybe sometimes I don't vacuum the floor enough as I probably should. But like overall my house is not like, you don't come in and you're like, oh my God, this is fucking squalor. Yeah. He's saying, like, I quote, I drive into a front lawn piled with black bags.
No.
There's plates of old food on random shelves and cabinets. Like, why are you putting plates of old food in the fucking cabinet?
In the cabinet?
It says, on the cabinet, maybe. Yeah. On random shelves and cabinets.
So she just, like, leaves the food.
Yeah. Like, on a plate and just, like, leaves it there.
I actually think she might be starting to get depressed.
Yeah.
Because when people get depressed, they like, don't give a shit.
Our wall beside the rubbish bin is stained brown where she throws tea bags in it from a distance and they hit the wall first.
Put it on a plate and throw it out later.
Well, it sounds like that doesn't do it. Since she'll just leave the plate on the counter.
Well, it's better than throwing it on the wall. Like,
I know. Like, I think she's suffering from
this is a mental health crisis. Yeah. It sounds like,
because you're not supposed to live like that. Like,
yeah, this is not normal.
This is when you're going to get infestations.
Yes.
You're going to get like probably sick more often because your house is going to be so fucking filthy.
Have you seen videos of people's houses? And again, this is like people suffering extreme mental health issues, like extreme depression.
Yeah.
And their house is just like literally all garbage.
Yeah.
And there's like shit everywhere, like literal shit sometimes. There's like food everywhere. There's old packages of food. And it's like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. Like, so that's why I'm saying I feel like this might be, there's an underlying cause.
Of course. And I think you're right, because like most normal people, like, because for example, let's say for whatever reason, I left some food on a plate on the counter, which never happens, but let's say it did. After a certain amount of time, it's going to start to fucking smell.
Yes.
And that's when you're going to throw it out, because you're like, it fucking stinks in here. So you're going to throw that out because you don't want your house to smell.
Yeah.
But like, I always think, and that reminds me of like remember that show, like Hoarders?
Yes.
Because people that hoard, basically, they do have some sort of mental health thing, because they can't throw stuff away. And like some of these hoarder houses, and they'd have kids and stuff. Oh. And a couple of the kids were like relatively normal. Like they were very well spoken, and they were like, yeah, we know like our parents have a problem. Like, and they're living in like squalor, like just like shit everywhere, garbage everywhere. Just, it's so crazy. And
are you okay?
I just think of the smell coming into that house.
No.
It sends me.
So I think, yes, you may have been. Here's the thing. I mean, obviously, not everyone knows how to, like, most people wouldn't know how to deal with the situation. Yeah. But I think probably she needs to get some kind of therapy. They need to address why this is happening. Calling her lazy was probably not a good idea because, like, someone's depressed, sad, angry, whatever. That's not gonna help the situation. Yeah. But also I understand why, like, he's emotional, he's reacting this way.
It's like telling someone to calm down.
Oh yeah, see somebody exactly. Yeah. Somebody wrote, not the asshole, but this isn't laziness, this is mental illness. Yeah. Yes. Lazy people don't always fold their laundry right away. See, I'm like the lazy person, right? Like, I'll leave my clean laundry in the hamper for like 2 weeks and then I'll fold it eventually. But I don't leave rotting food on a plate. I'll bring my dirty plates to the sink, and maybe I'll wait a day before I wash it.
Exactly.
So that's like a lazy person. Yeah. But like, Yeah, lazy people might have a few extra dishes in the sink
Yeah.
or let the lawn get too long or put off weeding the garden, leaving trash bags on the lawn, throwing tea bags at the wall. What the actual fuck? If she isn't interested in helping herself, run. I don't know if you're planning on having kids or not, but I think that would be a poor choice right now. Regardless, she's not planning on changing her ways. She needs to help herself. Yes. So that's the thing. It is definitely not like a lazy issue. Like it's definitely like more, it's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to pick one in it.
All right, guys.
All right.
Stay tuned for
Next
this. Are you ready?
one.
Next one. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my mother-in-law?
Oh, God.
I, female 31, gave birth to my beautiful son a week ago. Unfortunately, there were some complications, so I was only released yesterday, but I'm so grateful to be home with our baby boy. When my waters initially broke, my husband, male 33, and I were home, and I happened to be standing on my bedroom carpet. Cleaning was obviously not a priority, so I threw some towels down and we left for the hospital. During the time that we were in the hospital, my mother-in-law, female 59, kindly offered to feed our dogs for us, and we were very appreciative of the help. It was only once we got home yesterday that I see my mother-in-law had left a receipt and note stuck on the fridge saying that she had cleaned my bedroom carpet and wanted to be reimbursed. She had also taken it upon herself to clean the rest of the house while she was at it, and all in all, would like a day's pay at $25 an hour plus $200 worth of products.
What?
Now, while it was nice of her to clean the carpet and then the rest of my house, neither of us asked her to do this. My husband wrote her the following text. Hey, Mom, really appreciate your help over the last few days while my name was in hospital. It was great having someone look after the dogs. We noticed your note and receipt on the fridge, and I was a little upset you took it upon yourself to, number one, snoop through the house, as neither of us had told you about my fiance or my wife's water breaking in the bedroom, and number two, go out and buy hundreds of dollars worth of cleaning products, and then number three, charging us for your time and for the aforementioned products. We would also like to ask where these cleaning products are. As if we are paying for them, we would certainly like to get our money's worth. When we entrusted you with the dogs, we really thought you were helping us out of the goodness of your heart and not giving you an opportunity to make a quick buck. We are family and are hurt you would do something like this while my wife is unwell from the childbirth.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law immediately responded to my husband saying that she did what she did out of the kindness of her heart.
Yeah, right.
And cannot believe we would be so ungrateful. I have received some texts from extended family members saying that mother-in-law didn't have to help me, but did do despite her advanced age out of love. 59 is not an advanced age, by the way.
59 is not an advanced age, and it's not out of love if you're billing them after.
Exactly. Like, oh, I'm doing this out of love, but by the way, Rose, you owe me $400.
What the hell?
Yeah. So I have received some texts, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, I received some texts from extended family members saying my mother-in-law didn't help me or didn't have to help me. Oh yeah, but because of her advanced age. I have had to turn my phone off so that I don't deal with all these texts. But my husband is still getting a lot of hate from his family because we are quote unquote manipulating the situation and making mother-in-law the bad guy when she was only trying to help get the house ready for the baby. I'm quite upset by the whole thing, but my husband is now saying that maybe we should pay to get the extended family off our back and just to enjoy this time as new parents rather than dealing with all of this. I am not okay with paying his mom for anything. She sent another text to my husband earlier saying she would be happy to gift us the products, but would still like to be paid for her time.
Oh my God.
Given that she dealt with a biohazard.
A biohazard?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Is water breaking a biohazard?
Well, I think technically any like bodily fluids are considered like a biohazard.
Okay. First of all, this is your this is your son.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is the least you could do.
It's your family.
It's your family. I don't understand this, like, between family, like, oh my God, like fighting over like a few $100. Like, is she that broke? Is she that poor? Like, what is going on? Is she desperate for cash? Then maybe it's a different situation. But also get permission.
Exactly. Always get permission. Like, if I'm going to house sit for somebody, I'm not going to take it upon myself to like fix a door that's broken and then later bill someone
you
for it.
after.
It'll be like, well, I didn't want that door fixed. I was fine how it was. Fuck that. I was going to just leave it. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't ask for these things, it's like, why should you be responsible to pay for them?
What is this random $25 an hour? You can't just come up with a random number and then be like, yeah, I'm going to bill you for it. Mm-hmm. Not the asshole. Do not pay her. Mm-hmm. Like, this is clear. Like, that's so messed up.
It's so messed up. It's like the most fucked up thing ever. I would be shocked.
Can you imagine if your parents did this? Like, I can't even imagine.
No. Oh my God.
I can't even imagine my mom trying to charge me for something like this.
Oh my God.
And like, this is your son. Like they're
Yeah.
having your grandchild.
Yeah.
Like you, like, yes, it's nice of you to clean this place, but that you should have ended it that.
Yeah.
You clean the place.
Also, I'm sorry. I know that inflation has been happening, but like $200 for cleaning products.
That's another bullshit thing.
What?
What are you buying?
Yeah.
What are you buying?
Well, that's why the son was like, I want
Yeah.
to see what these products are.
Exactly.
Because like $200 for cleaning products is like,
You're
again,
trying to scam your own son.
you offer to look after the dogs
Yes, and that was it.
out,
There
of,
was
the kind,
no
out
talk.
of the kindness of your heart.
There was no talk of an hourly wage.
Nope.
There was no talk of, oh, you have to clean the house.
Yeah.
Can you please clean the, never asked.
Nope.
Then if you do it, that's on you.
Exactly. That's doing it out of the kindness
Oh
of
my
your
God.
You did it out of the kindness of your heart. Great. And I'm going to thank you out of the kindness of my heart.
Yes. I
Thank you
can't
so
believe
much.
people like this exist.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Not
make
the
some comments.
asshole.
Yeah.
If it's only help if the recipient actually wants it. Otherwise, it's imposing yourself on them.
Yes.
Charging for it is now doubling down on the problem because now it's forcing unwanted commercial services on you. If she'd done it out of the kindness of her heart, the most she could possibly ask for is the cleaning supplies because that's the only thing she's actually out financially.
Yeah.
The kindness of one's heart doesn't come with a price tag.
Yes. Like, and the fact that the family is doubling down on this.
I know.
And the family is on her side.
But I bet you it's because she said
Do you
something.
think she
twisted
spun the
something.
narrative?
Of course she did.
Yeah.
Because if somebody came up to me and explained that situation,
Yeah.
like if my parents were like, "Oh, we did this out of the kindness of our heart," and then we billed them for it, I'd be like, "That's not out of the kindness of your
Yeah.
heart." Like I have no
She's
issue
probably like, they
saying
asked
that.
me to clean.
Yeah.
And they did this.
And they wanted me to clean their whole house from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And we agreed on an hourly
Yeah,
charge,
yeah,
and
yeah,
now they
yeah.
won't pay me. Then
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah.
We call it help, quote, or looks like help but isn't. Oh no, they call it help, HLEP in quotation marks. Looks like help but isn't. Gifts do not have strings, and help does not have obligations that you didn't agree to prior to it happening.
Yes. Like, I'd understand if you agree to it.
Yeah.
But also, even just like, it's just tacky. Like, you trying to charge your son when he's giving birth. Like, your family. Like, what are you doing?
I know, it's so crazy.
God, money's just rotting people's brains.
I know, it's crazy. So here's another poster. First of all, congratulations. I hope you and your son are doing well and you're healing comfortably. I understand both you and your husband's point of view, and I'm totally in agreement that your mother-in-law was completely out of line in a number of ways. But I also see why your husband wants to just put it behind you. You don't need the stress of dealing with this unnecessary drama. I will say if you do choose to pay her, make sure that she understands that all interactions going forward will be strictly transactional. If she needs you to take her somewhere, charge her per mile plus gas. If she asks you to pick up something for her on your way to visit, charge her for the item plus delivery and handling. Only then will she only then will she and her flying monkeys realize how ridiculous her expectations are of you.
Yes. I mean, fair.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's not why would you want that sort of relationship with your own mother/mother-in-law?
That's crazy.
It's just like, it's so transactional.
Ugh.
And it's not even transaction. This is a fraudulent
It's
transaction.
fraud.
Oh,
It's like, oh, hey, Rose, I came to your house and cleaned it all, and now I expect you to give me $35 an hour.
yeah.
Plus
Yeah.
cleaning supplies. Plus, actually, I got a lunch while I was here as well. It was a working lunch, though, so I expect you to pay for that, too.
Oh my God. I actually cannot.
Well, I guess you could do that, Rose. You could turn around and be like, you know what, Daniel, I made you lunch today. That's actually going to be $10.50.
Exactly. That's literally what
Like,
she's doing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, should I make lunch? And then after you finish, that'll be $20.
Yeah, and then for the coffee, how much is that, Rose?
Oh, Daniel, that's gonna be another $5 with inflation, $6, and then I expect a 20% tip.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
God damn. It's just so ridiculous, especially when it's family. I'm just like, I get it.
know.
Like, if you, for example, like, sometimes family does stuff like to help each other out. Like, for example, when I first moved back to Canada, I was unemployed for a little bit.
Yeah.
And my parents wanted some help with certain things around the house.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, hey, I know you're unemployed right now. I had savings and stuff and whatever. And there was some stuff I would just do. But like we took on a huge project to like paint the house. And my dad's like, I'll pay you to help me paint the house.
Right.
Like little things like this, you know, like you.
Of course, like there's things where you do have transactions as a family, which is normal.
Exactly. And we agreed upon a rate. And we
Exactly.
agreed upon how much I was going to get
But
paid.
things like, see, that's a different thing. That's like again, yeah, you agreed on it beforehand. But things like, your son's in the hospital, your daughter-in-law's giving birth.
Yeah.
And you're thinking about how to scam them.
Oh God, it's so bad.
Oh my God.
It's actually, I would be so furious if my mom did that.
Oh my God. I would be so fucking mad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Like imagine your husband's mom doing that, Rose.
Oh
I
my
know
God.
you just gave birth, but by the way, you guys owe me like $500 for cleaning your entire house because I had to deal with your water that broke all over the floor.
I had to deal with my grandson.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Oh, it's just so bad.
Okay. Am I the asshole for wanting to take some photos without my stepson? The drama.
Uh-oh.
I, male 35, have been married to my wife, female 32, for 3 years. She has a son, male 10, from a previous relationship. I have nothing against him. Oh,
time will tell.
it's an interesting choice of words. I have nothing against him. We get along well, and I treat him as part of the family. 2 months ago, we had our first child together, a beautiful baby boy who is our joy. She wanted to hire a professional photographer to take some photos of our family to capture this special moment. The problem is that I wanted to take some photos without my stepson. Just with my wife and our newborn son. Yes, you're the asshole.
Yeah.
I wanted to have some memories with just the three of us. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
It's making me so mad already.
This is already making me angry.
I didn't think this was a big issue, but my wife got very upset with me. She said I would be selfish and cruel, that I was excluding her son, and that he would feel rejected and hurt. Yes. I tried to explain that I didn't intend to do that I just wanted some extra photos, and that I wouldn't stop taking photos with him as well. Oh my fucking God. But she didn't want to listen to me and call me a jerk. I was very disappointed by this reaction. It's called little gaslighting.
Oh, of course.
I don't think I did anything wrong. I just wanted to have some photos with the three of us. Am I the asshole? You're the fucking asshole.
My God.
I'm so mad.
Because did he also on the flip side just want a picture with the stepson and the mom? No.
And also his choice of words. I have nothing against him.
Exactly.
You married the woman.
Yeah.
Like, when you marry someone with a child, you are essentially their step parent,
taking
aka
on the role of their
parent.
Yeah.
So, and of course, like, naturally, you may have more of a connection to your, like, fucking your own child, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, but that's something it's like that might naturally happen, but I would also like not want that to happen.
Exactly.
Right? Like, this is also your child. Like,
yeah.
and for to like a 10-year-old.
I know they're.
On.
And think about how sensitive a 10-year-old is.
Oh,
like,
this
they're
makes
still
me
young.
so
They're
mad.
like in grade 5.
Yeah. And this is like a very, very, pivotal, very important time in their lives.
And then he's like, and then it would have been different. Like, again, we don't know the whole situation, but
Yeah.
I just know from the way he's written this, like, there was not a chance. Like, if he's like, oh, I just want some extra pictures. Well, did you do also the pictures with just the stepson and not your newborn?
Exactly.
I don't think so. You wanted pictures of your
just excluding
family, excluding that person. That's brutal.
Oh.
Brutal.
I am so mad.
Like, I'm actually mad for
and also
this situation.
the way that he's like wording, like, I have nothing against him. I treat him as part of my family. We get along well.
He is part of your family.
Yeah, exactly. He is fucking part of your family.
Yeah.
And then later he's like, we had our first child together, a beautiful baby boy who is our joy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fucking like
That poor kid.
I know.
He's
It's like
gonna grow up in that situation.
It's already tough enough to, have probably
Split up
divorced
parents.
parents. And then you're living with this guy that clearly doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take family photos and be like, oh, son, you can just go over there for a second.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, the comments. Hold on.
Yeah,
I'm so mad.
This is probably one of the worst ones I've read.
Yeah, I am literally so upset.
God, that's so horrible.
Can you imagine? Like, this is what I call like an evil step parent. Okay.
Yes.
As far as she is concerned, just wanting to have some photos with the three of you is something wrong. You say in your opening paragraph that you treat your stepson as one of the family. Great. In that case, there is no three of you. There is four of you.
Yep.
I don't think I have any photos of my younger kids as babies that have Mrs. Miggs, me, and the baby, but not any older siblings.
Yeah.
There are plenty of photos of just the baby or a baby with one parent or one sibling or something, but it never occurred to us to want to take post family photos with us just one of our kids. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's a little different if like maybe there's a photo of the mom and the baby.
Yeah.
And then like the mom and the child and then you and the baby and then you and the child.
Yeah. Like but and also I have to another distinction I want to make too is like it's different if you're at like a family event like at Christmas or something and you're just taking random photos. Like
These are posed.
These are you went to a photography studio
and deliberately took photos.
And deliberately are taking photos for I don't know Christmas cards or something. I don't know. People love their fucking Christmas cards. And you are deliberately asking that person to exclude themselves.
Oh, I'm so upset.
Yeah, like it would be different. Like let's say you're at a family function and the stepson is out
off
playing
somewhere,
with
doing
the kids,
something,
and then you're like,
to take some photos.
exactly, you're like, oh, like can you take a picture of me and my wife and our baby here?
Yeah.
You know, and then if the stepson comes back, oh come on, get in the photo. You know, like that's different than actually going to a photo studio with all of you guys and being like, can you just get out of the photo for a minute?
It's just like the fucking audacity.
Oh, it's
and then for him to be like, I was disappointed in her reaction. Yeah. Really? The fact that you even have to ask the question, like, am I the asshole? Like, is like, how do you have such little self-awareness?
How are you so delusional?
Okay, someone wrote, you're the asshole. While you obviously don't see it, you're probably treating your stepson differently. Yeah.
100%.
And it's probably a good thing your wife is clocking it now. Consider, if you will, that I have nothing against him is a really weird thing to say about a 10-year-old. Yeah. What would you have against a 10-year-old to begin with? Like,
and that's the thing you say about someone's friend. Like, oh, you know, I don't really like that friend of Rose's, but I have nothing against them.
Exactly. Like, I have nothing against them is basically being like, I don't really care for this person. But like, I have nothing against them.
I'm indifferent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're indifferent. Like, it says, you're the asshole. Maybe unless you also wanted photos of just you, her, and the stepson like without the baby, which doesn't sound like you did.
Yeah.
Your suggestion is saying to her, my wife and my baby are my real family, and my stepson is only kind of family. He is not necessarily family. He is optional family who can be excluded when I deem it necessary. That may not be your intent. But I've got news for you. Your intent does not negate results. Furthermore, I suspect your desire to have these stepson-free photos does indicate how you see him. You need to worry less about whether Reddit thinks you're right and more about how you treat your family. Your wife is telling you quite directly that this action would hurt your stepson. Rather than say, I would never want that to happen. You're right. I'm sorry for not thinking about his feelings. You doubled down to say that you didn't intend hurt and therefore he shouldn't feel hurt, which is meaningless.
Yeah.
Furthermore, it seems to me that your wife herself is hurt, and rather than being concerned with mending that hurt, here you are trying to prove you're right on the internet. You'd better start recognizing the hurt you've caused, apologize profusely, and do the hard work on yourself so you realize that your stepson is your family and he is not optional. Yes.
I wonder if these people that post, like I really would be curious, right? Like this guy, for example, that's posted about this situation. I wonder if he's gone back, read the Reddit comments, seen everyone voted him as the asshole, and if he actually will change his behavior. Yeah. Right? Like will someone like this read it and then reflect and actually change the way they're doing it and be like, and actually have a epiphany, you have an epiphany moment.
Yeah, and you're like, I was in the wrong.
Look what all these people are writing. Fuck. Or if he doubles down and says, oh, well, that person doesn't understand.
I think it depends on the situation. Yeah. I think you're right. Some people might. Yeah. Some people that are good at like self-reflection. Yeah. Although like some of the questions I'm just like, are you fucking dumb? Like the answer is obvious.
I know.
But for someone like him, I don't know.
Because he might just be like, well, they weren't there.
Exactly.
They're not understanding.
They don't understand
I didn't articulate myself well enough in my explanation.
Yeah. They don't understand my situation. Like he sounds like, someone that would not accept that he's wrong.
Even the wording, like, oh
my God, I'm so mad.
Yeah.
Like,
that poor kid.
Oh, seriously, that's trauma.
That is trauma because it's already hard enough, like you said, like having parents split up. Now your mom is with this other guy who you may or may not get along with.
Yeah.
They get married and you're like, okay, well, this is going to be forever thing. And then he treats you like that.
Yeah. And also it must already be hard just on the surface of you having a sibling that is the birth child of both parents, whilst you only is the birth child of your mom. Yeah. So I mean, if I were the step parent, I think I would probably try to go out of my way to make this child feel more comfortable and compensate more because it's I don't want them because already you're in kind of a disadvantageous position. Yeah. Not that you should be, but that's how you would feel as a child, right? Yeah. So I would probably try to overcompensate and just make sure to be more of a, just try even harder with them. Yeah. So for you to just be like, can we take photos with our son? Yeah. Oh, that one's one of the most furious.
I think that's one of the that's one of the ones, guys, I'm raging at
so angry
the most, probably.
Just because it's a child.
I know. A poor 10-year-old child that's stuck in this shitty situation with this shitty man.
Yeah.
Oh.
God, imagine being the wife.
Because even she's like, what the fuck?
But it's did you not see there must have been red flags before.
I know.
Dude.
I know.
That's tough. What would you do?
I have no idea. Because
you're probably thinking, oh, maybe he'll come around. It takes time, which it does take time. It does take time to bond with your, stepchild or whatever.
want to see that.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, if you're gonna get married to someone with a child,
Yeah.
you need to like try your absolute hardest to be this parent, to be a parent.
You do. Just that quote, I have nothing against him.
And that's like the first thing he wrote.
I know. And that right away
that
there.
immediately was the biggest red flag.
Exactly. As soon as you read this, before you even know what happens to the
Yeah.
in the story, it's like, you know, she has this, I have nothing against him. We get along well and I treat him as part of the family.
He is your family.
He is your family, first of all. And secondly, like writing, like anytime you say, like anytime I've said to anyone that I have nothing against this person, it means that I don't really like them. Or I'm just very indifferent. I'm just like it's fine, but I have nothing against them,
like,
but I don't really
like
like them.
Oh, like, what do you think of like so-and-so? And you said, I have nothing against them. I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, you literally don't give a shit.
Yeah, you could care less if they came to, like, oh, Daniel, should I invite this person to this party? Like, do what you want. I was like, I have nothing against them. You're like, oh, okay, cool.
And yeah, that is very weird to say about a 10-year-old child.
Oh.
Like, who says that about a 10-year-old child?
Horrible, guys. That's horrible.
Yeah. Oh, we're so mad.
I know. God.
Like, I'm so mad.
Damn it. On that positive note.
Divorce this fucker.
Yeah, divorce this
like, honestly,
fucker
that is... this is why I can't be married. I swear to God, because like a thing like this would trigger the shit out of me, and I don't think I can look at my husband the same way.
Yeah.
If he says something like that,
it's bad.
like even if he like was like, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, what did you think in the first place?
Exactly.
What is your thought process in the first place to even ask a question like that?
It's bad.
And then doubling down.
Oh, bad.
Anyway, guys, there you go. Well, people are awful, and many people are the asshole.
Yes, and I really sincerely hope, guys, the people writing these fucking things, some people are not the asshole, some people are. Obviously, this was a very clear one that at the very end. I hope that this individual and all the individuals read the feedback that they get.
Yes.
Just to kind of like take it to heart and be like, oh shit, I'm actually fucking this up. Who knows if they'll take the feedback, because some people don't.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful that he does, and that poor 10-year-old boy feels like a part of the family and doesn't have his stepdad say, I have nothing against him. Because that, folks, is a fucking bullshit.
Oh my God, you guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you give this a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on any of these situations. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all the podcast platforms. Give us a rating, 5 stars. And what else, Daniel?
And check out our Patreon.
Yes,
Patreon.com/TheSaVeg for exclusive content, for ad-free content, and for getting the episodes a week earlier than everyone else.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.